add the new one extra one, it will repeat all again. That means now how many times iteration will happen? 11 times iteration will happen. Why? 10, 20 is okay. In real time projects, you have to deal with millions of records. Suppose you are searching on Google any topic, millions of results will come for every topic. And some new topic is added. Will you iterate all 1 million again? That's not good idea. But that is what ng4 does. That means suppose out of 10 records, 7th record changed. Then it will repeat all 10 again to update the 7th record. This is the problem that we have to face with ng4. We can handle this problem by using track by. What track by can do is it can verify which element changed, means which iteration changed. That means 7th one changed. Then it will update only 7th one. That's good. That means it will not iterate all. It will do iteration only in the records that are changed. What track by will do? It will track all the repeating items. It will track which item changed, and it will iterate only that item. That's very good. It will push only that item. That's good. This is track by. So it is compulsory. It is mandatory to use. You cannot repeat all million records again and again. For that, this is very important. Let's see practically this, how it happens. Actually, it uses a function. I will show you that example here. See. For that, we need to construct another example. This example already I given. Yeah. Now for track by, let's clean up this. Okay. And here data also, I will use general data. So I'm just using here some data. I will clean up all this. Yeah. I'm creating simply public products. Temporarily, it is any type array. In that, we have some details, name, and we have like price. And you can see some details are defined here. So another name and mobile. And here we have price. Okay, these are the details we are entering. Some name and some shoe like this. And price. Okay, 3 details are there. Now I want these 3 details to display. So let's go here. We will create a simple table and class as table and table hover. And here we are defining T head, TR, TH. This is name. And this is price, and table body. And in this table body, we have T row. This row should repeat. And here we are adding ng4. ng4 let item of collection. Collection is what? So products. And first cell is displaying item dot name, and second cell is displaying item dot price. So here we are having item dot price. Okay. Now we can see this is the data displayed here. Okay. Now I will add one more here, button. I will keep a button above the table. Yep. So class here is margin bottom 2. Here we defined a button and say, suppose update. Okay. And here we will right click. This is update click. Update click is the function. btn primary something. Now there is no update click function. We have to write here. So what is the function? So that is public update click. When update click happened, I am accessing this dot products is equal to, into that, it is an array. Into that, all these three details I am adding again. Observe, I am adding those three details again, but extra one more I will add. So name is some watch and a price, some price we defined. Like this we added. That means what we are doing, we are repeating the records. We are repeating the records, but one extra is there. So when update click happens, observe here when update click happens, one more record is added. But we will see in the background to add this record, is it repeating all records or not? Right? We will verify that. Let's open inspect. I will open inspect here. In the inspect, let's go to here, elements, table. In the table, we will go to table body. In the table body, here you can observe how many rows are there? 3 rows. You concentrate here. 3 rows are there. Observe that carefully. When I click the button, observe that carefully 3 rows. When I click update button, one more must be added. That means I click update button, all 3 are repeated again. Have you seen that? Right. I will do one more thing. I will click one more time. Are there any changes? No changes. But when I click one more time, it repeats again. I click one more time, it repeats again. If nothing is changed, why you are repeating again and again? That means again you are fetching, displaying, fetching, displaying. This is huge burden to application. Servers have lot of burden. Every time it is going, coming back, it is difficult. Generally, majority of the times our applications fail because we don't use them properly. For example, you see, you are using a mobile and suddenly mobile hangs up. What is the problem? Is the mobile problem? Is the mobile issue? If it is mobile issue, you can put a case on the mobile company in consumer court saying that I purchased 20,000 rupees mobile, it is not working. You can put a case on them. But if you put a case like that it is hanging up, then they will laugh at you. Why? Because it is not mobile problem. Its RAM capacity is 2 GB. Its memory capacity is suppose 5 GB. And you install 200 games into it. Then how it will work? That is mobile problem. Huh? So that is your problem. That means applications fail. Your mobile systems will not respond because you don't know how to use them. You don't know how to use them. That is the reason even you complain on them, that will be dismissed immediately. Why? Because that is silly. Because they have done hundreds of times testing on it. 1 year, 2 year, they do all the testing on it. After that, they release it into market. So technical problems, if comes really, then they will roll back. They will say that there is a fault in our mobile. We will roll back all the mobiles. We will refund you money. But if there is a problem like hanging up, slow, it is working slow, that is your problem. you are not properly able to handle them. So on internet, these kind of cases are regular because people use internet without having the knowledge of how to use it properly. Due to that, even you designed a good website, lot of technical issues will come. Technical issues will come. Those technical issues are not really the problems of application. That is because of your operating, right? You don't properly operate it, then issues will come. That is the reason even user is unable to operate properly, we must able to control it. That means we know that he will click 2 times. You see, when any transaction is going on, they will ask you, don't push back button, don't push refresh button, right? So when you push back and refresh button, what will happen? It will cancel the transaction. That means they have to ask you, don't push back, don't push this. So now some applications, what they do, they will not allow to go back. That means even you push back button, they will not allow you to go back. So such things we can control. That is what actually required here. That means user will click several times. Unknowingly he will click, but you will not repeat it. You will repeat only when any change happened. So that is important. Currently, whenever I click, it is repeating again. It is repeating again. And you saw here when I refresh, actually, when we refresh in the table body section, you see to add only one row extra, all 3 rows are repeated. Observe, update, all 3 repeated. This is not good because as of now, 3, 4, okay, but hundreds, thousands of records are loading. It will take time. We can control that by using track by. How? We will write a function. We will write a method public. The method name, any name you can give, I will give track changes. This method will collect the index number of record, which record changed. That means this method is expecting a parameter called index. Index is what type of parameter? It is a number. Now what it will do is it will return that index number where change occurred. That means it will collect all index numbers and it will return only the index where change occurred. 2 changes may be, 1 change may be, where change occurred, it will return that index. That's very good. That means what track changes this function will do. It will is internally, it will identify which index row changed. You don't need index also. Track by will get the index number and it will send that index number to which location? Track changes. Track changes will return that index number and give it to iterator again. What iterator will do? It will update only that index. Let's see. Now I will go to the design. In the design, let's go to the table. In the table, let's go to the body. See how many rows are there? 3 rows. I will do one thing for your more convenience to understand. Every time when user clicks this button, I will put a alert. Okay, na? In the alert, I will say update clicked. Okay, fine. Now you see what happens here. I will open this table body. In the table body, we have how many rows? 3. I will click update button. When I click update button, update clicked. After that, okay. Observe carefully, only last row is updated. Have you seen? Right now, see, I click on update again. When I click on update again, update clicked. And I click OK, nothing is updated. It's not repeating. The iterator is not working. That means I click update again, then update clicked, but repeater not working. Why? Because you used track changes. This is good. This is important. That means generally all iterations have this kind of problem. Whenever you are using for each and all, this problem comes. That's the reason Java, .NET, all these technologies implement a mechanism called lazy loading. They implement a mechanism called lazy loading. That means it will load only when it is necessary. And this is internally using lazy loading. Now you are using a lazy loading concept without writing anything. We are using a simple function which is internally using lazy loading. Lazy loading means it will load only what is necessary to load. It will not load everything every time. It will load only the concept which is required for that situation. This mechanism is what? Lazy loading. And internally it is implementing lazy loading. It is not loading all the rows. It is loading only the row which is changed. This is the concept of track by. So later when you learn APIs, this will be more effectively working. It will improve the speed of application. It will reduce the burden on server. You don't need to unnecessarily load every item every time, right? I hope you know this generally. Later, one more technique I will show you. Suppose when you are using Google, you have seen that regularly. Huh? When you are using Google search, suppose in images, I'm searching for Angular and Angular images came. Some millions of images came. Is it loading all million images? No. Now observe carefully. When I am scrolling down, then only next set loads. Na? Am I right? When I am scrolling down, then only next set of images will load. Am I right? And when next set is loading, above images are again loaded. No, they will be there only. Only the new things will be loading. This is what you have seen. That means this you can practically implement in another way also later. We will see that. But this is what you have seen. We created a table. Only fourth row is added. All the above rows are not generated. Only fourth row is added. Only the new one is added. This is what implementing of lazy loading. Later you can design like this. Images lazy loading also I will show you how we can handle. Right? Initially, that is the concept of working with the track by. That is track by. So track by requires a function. What is the any name you can give for this function? It will collect the index number where change occurred, and it will return the changed index so that this ng for can iterate only that where change occurred. For that you have to use this track by. Remember, these are ready-made properties. Capitalization, everything matters. And it is a function. You have to put a colon to access. And it is not function calling. It is function pointer. Function pointer requires only function name. Function name. So that is important. So this is example of what track by. This is track by example. Same for demo.component.ts. In TS, this is the code. We made some changes. Yeah. And for demo.component.html. In HTML, this is the code. Here we used track by in ng for. So ng for have lot of important attributes, properties. So index, which returns index number. We have first, last, even, odd. Another one is track by. We will use these regularly now in various occasions, right? Now, once we know how to use ng for, how to write iterations and all, now we will try to work with complex data presentation. Let's see one API, the complex data presentation. We will see you have a website. So api.nasa.gov. You can visit this website. This is NASA's API website. You can visit the website here. So this is api.nasa.gov. This is NASA API website. We have we have ISRO websites also, but everybody don't have open data. They don't provide open data. So here you see, this is a API website. There is a browse APIs. When I click browse APIs, lot of APIs they given. Astronomy, picture of day, asteroids, so many are there. Now here I will select some Mars rover photos. I will select that Mars rover photos. In that, they will give you some queries. You can see these are queries. And I click on a query. I click on this query. You can see it returns this data. This is all the data. Now, our responsibility is to present this data. That means in real world projects, this is our work as an Angular developer. What is the role of Angular developer in real-time projects is the data comes from an API, and that data we have to present, and we have to create a good interface for interacting with the data. Interacting with data means searching and all. Searching, filtering, sorting, all such activities we have to handle. Now here you see, first point for any developer is to understand the data that is written to you. Remember, this URL is returning the data. And see what is the data it is returning finally. What is the data it is returning? What does this means? Object. It is returning an object. So what you are expecting from this location is object. That object contains a property called photos, which is of what type? Array. That means in this object, there is an array. That array name is photos. And this photos array is again object type array. And every object have lot of details. ID, sol, camera. Camera is again object. Right? Like that, every object have details. You can see actually this is the detail of one object. That is the detail of one object. This is one ID. This is second ID. Understood? This is not second ID. Where is, there may be some second ID. Yet you can see here, this is one product related information up to here. Understood? From here, another product information comes. Now, one product have means one item have a lot of details. We have to present this. We have to present this, and we don't want all. Suppose I want to present this data, but in this, what I want is, I want only photo ID, and I want camera full name. I want camera full name because camera have a lot of details. That means what is the photo ID, which camera took that photo, and what is the photo. Photo also I want. Let's see where photo is. Photo has IMG SRC. Na? IMG SRC is having a JPG. Understood? This photo is coming from their server. Right? This photo is coming remotely from their server. We want IMG SRC. Okay. And we want rover name. Which rover took that photo? Rover name is name. Camera name is full underscore name. And rover name is just a name. And remember, camera is an object. and rover is also an object. That means what I want from here is, here lot of details are there. I don't want all. I want only the photo ID, the photo, which camera took that photo, and which rover took that photo. Only those details we want to display. Let's see how we can handle this data. Let's see. I will create a simple, here let's go, and here first we will create a table. In that class table and table hover, and here we are creating T head, TR and TH. In this we want photo ID, we want the preview is photo, we want the camera name, and we want the rover name. Only these details we want to display. Okay, from the data we want to display these details. So in the table body we want to do that. So first we have to bring the data from there. Then let's go to the TS file, and here we will remove this. Yeah, and here all this concept is same, implements on init. So what is the data type coming? Object. So we will create an object here, public, and I will define here suppose Mars object. That is the Mars object. Data is very complex, so I will put as what type? Any type what? Object. That's how we define. Of course, if you want, you create a contract for it and you can apply that contract, but this is a big one, right? You better try the contract. But if you have to create a contract, it will take a lot of time now. Why? Because so much data is there. Everything you have to mention in the contract, its data types and all we have to mention there. So as of now, we created just Mars object. It is of what type? Any type of object. Okay. Now what should happen on init? We have to fetch data coming from this URL. Copy that URL. Okay, I copied that URL. Now I will write here, what is it? Fetch. Fetch data coming from this URL. This is the URL. And what we have to do, dot, then first what? Response. What we have to do? Response. Response dot what? JSON. Convert the response into JSON. After that, we have to use another then. This then will collect the data. This data need to be attached. This dot what? Mars object is equal to data, because data is also object. But is data array? Data is not array. That means actually this data is an object type. You have seen this is an object. In this object, there is a property called what? Photos, which is of what type? Array. Right? That means now this is just an object. In that object, there is a property called photos, which is an array. So what we have to do now, let's go to the presentation. Here we have to generate a row. This row should repeat ng for let item of collection. Collection is Mars object. Is Mars object a collection? No, Mars object is not a collection. Mars object is an object. In that object, there is a property. What is that? Photos. That is collection. Understood? Because finally the data is coming to us object. In that object, there is an array called photos. That we have to do for iteration. Object you can't iterate. We have to iterate array inside that object. That means now every item contains first cell. Every item contains ID. Item dot what? ID. You should be careful because you need to just correctly refer this one. And you can see the IDs are ready. That means all the photo IDs are coming. And you can see hundreds of photos are there. IDs are there. That is in the first cell. Okay, now next cell. Let's go into the second cell. In the second cell, we need to print the photo image. Image width is suppose 100. Image height is also 100. Image source SRC property, to that we have to bind item dot img underscore src. Actually, that is the image source here. You can see img src is image source. That image source we are applying and all images will come. You can see these are all the images present there. These are all the images present. Now, similarly, now I need camera name. So then what we have to do here is in the next cell, camera name, how to get it? Item dot camera, that is an object. In that what we have full underscore name, that is the camera name. Similarly, we need rover name. How to get the rover name? Item dot rover dot name, that is rover name. And you can see it will get the details of the camera and rover names here, and it will display them here. That means the photo and the camera name and the rover. You can see the first photo is 102,693, 102,693. And that is the photo. And this is a small preview you are showing. Presentation, your wish, you can do in any way. What I can do here, see what I am doing is this small image which is displayed, this image I will keep in an anchor. Understood? That image I will keep in an anchor. Anchor is clickable. Its href will be, we will put href. Its href will be item dot image source. That means it will take us to the original photo, and it should open in a separate tab. Then I will use target. Target is equal to what? Underscore blank. It will open link target in a separate. That means now what happens is every image here is clickable now. Every image is clickable. And when I click that image, what will happen is when I click that image, it will open that image in a separate screen. That means it will open the image in a full screen. I'm just scrolling here. Which image I want? I click on that image, that opens in a separate screen. That image opens in a separate screen. You can open in a separate tab. You can open in a separate window. That depends on how you want to present. For that, you can use your Bootstrap, because in Bootstrap, what you can do, you can create pop-up. In a pop-up, you can show that image preview. Here also we can do, but it's a lengthy process. Actually, what we can do here is anchor href can use JavaScript function. It can use JavaScript. In this JavaScript, what we can do is here in the JavaScript, we can use window.open method. This window.open method will have to use the image source. That means item dot, what is it? img underscore src, image source. Then we can use a title for that image. Title is defined. Suppose some pic, something like this. Like this we can add, but this requires lot of jQuery. The lot of JavaScript and jQuery we need. Width I am just giving is 400. and the height is equal to 400. Actually, this is all JavaScript window function for that images generally. Usually what happens is when you click on that image, it will open in a separate window and display. But for that, we need to enable scripts. We need to configure. I hope if you learn Bootstrap bundle.js will be there. Bootstrap JS, jQuery JS, you can do that, right? Those you will learn later. That means you can write such logic so that it will not open in a separate tab. It will open in a separate window, separate pop-up. As of now, this is the logic we written. What is it for it? We have an option. What is it? href. Href is equal to item dot img underscore src and target. Target is equal to blank. But remember, every time the presentation is not same. As I told you already, sometimes what they do is they ask like, I don't want like this. I want like a card style. I want like a card style. For example, you see, generally some websites, suppose we have Amazon, or suppose I showed you some Naresh IT. In this Naresh IT website, you see they have several courses. All those courses details, they are showing like this cards. I want the Mars rover photos also like this. That means the photo, which camera took it, which rover took it, all such information I want display like cards, not like table. Then you have to use your Bootstrap knowledge for presenting such content. So what I am doing here now, see, observe. So here we will, so this is just tabular form now. First, I will give this tabular form, copy. I will put this example table, okay. This is the same for demo. This is for demo.component.ts. And in HTML, for demo.component.html, we are presenting in a table form. Let's change the presentation. You can present in any way you want. I will remove this here, okay. So I will remove this part. Div is there, okay. And here I am writing dflex. I am writing here flex wrap, like this I am defining. In this, I have to design a card style. I will use a div. In Bootstrap, we have a class card. Card will have padding 2, margin 2. Card will have style width of that is 200 pixel. Now in this card, we will put an image at the top. Remember, this card should repeat. If the card should repeat, we have to use what? ng for let item of Mars object dot photos. Understood? Now image source is equal to item dot img underscore srs. It will have a class called card image top, and I will give height as some 200 pixel, 180 pixel. Okay. Below this, we will put a div. The class is card header. In that, I want the image ID. Then we will use item dot ID. After that, we will put class card body. In card body, I am creating a data list with the term as camera name. How to get the camera name and display here? In the data definition, we are using, so item dot camera dot full underscore name. And in the next term, I am displaying the rover name. And here we need to display, this is item dot rover dot name. This is how. And you can see this time we are displaying a card for every item. Then the presentation will be like this. So it should display all in a card style like this. This is the card style of presentation. That means all are displayed in cards. It will display like this. And again, same, if I am changing the width, you can see the number of cards will be changing. Number of cards will be increasing here. I'm increasing because I given a display flex and flex ramp. These cards will be automatically adjusting to next line if the width is increasing. Right? These are all card style. That means displaying data in a different format is important. Now, remember, they just give us data and we created this presentation. Now they will ask some functionality here. They will say that now design this page in such a way that it should have, they will tell you like that. It should have a drop down. In this drop down, anybody can select camera name. Understood? Camera name. When they select a camera name, only photos taken by that camera should display. That means a drop down in that you select a camera name, only that photo should come. They select rover name, only that rover should come. Actually, in their data, they have a lot of other details. You see, API, this rover photos have a lot of other data. You can see it is also having like launch date. I want all the photos from the rover which is launched after 2022 year. Here they are having old photos also. Na? I want only after 2022 year. Then you have to write filters for that. That means they will give you one data and they will ask you various conditions on that. You must be able to handle. That's what generally shopping sites also do. Na? Suppose we have a shopping site like what is it? Flipkart. When you go to the shopping site and you selected some products like mobiles or something you have selected. Mobiles and some mobile you selected. Automatically you see left side. They will give you filters like this. Am I right? And what are the filters? They will say select price range, select brand name. And according to that, this right side data will be displaying. You see left side all filters. That means they will say select rating above 4, rating above 3, rating below 3. That means actually their data is only one. But on the data, several interactions we have to manage. So this is what we need to design. So this is one example actually. So this is same example. We changed the HTML page. HTML page this time we are using what? Cards. This is of cards presentation. Now once we can do this, now we will see some more complex data here. Some more complex data. There is another API called fake store API. This is a fake store API. This provides some data related to shopping sites. To create a shopping website, some data is provided by these people. What we will do is we will use these people's data and we will create a shopping like screen. Understood? That means we will create a shopping like website by using the data of these people. For that, they will provide ready-made data. We can try them. We can use that data. So that we will see in next session, right? Today is enough for this, right? You need to practice all this, what we learned. You try that NASA API and all. In tomorrow's session, we will discuss a shopping site, how to design by using this data. Okay, na? Right.